right, welcome back, everybody, to the Fantasy Hockey Hacks podcast, a proud member of the Hockey Podcast Network and the official podcast of Left Wing Lock, your number one source for fantasy hockey intelligence. I'm Devin Davidson, your host. With me, as always, Bruce Gunther, John Enns, and Tyler Homan. Oh, there he is.
I was going to say Tyler's ceiling.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was about.
He's doing the podcast from the floor tonight.
Welcome back, everybody. Guys, what's happening? Tyler, you made it. You made it back. We didn't expect to see you.
I made it. Warp speed. I drove at warp speed.
Attaboy.
I'm up by like two points right now.
Oh, we're getting right down to business here. I didn't even look yet.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, 2 points. I've been looking all day.
I noticed you were pretty busy, actually. You went like full Devin and just picked everything up off the wire all week.
Well, I seen he was like maxed out, so I didn't really do anything until yesterday, and then I added everybody. But I was at my parents for Easter, so I didn't actually check who was actually playing. So I picked up Merzlikins. He's not playing. I dropped Spencer Knight. He played well too. I picked up Saad. He did absolutely nothing. Picked up Voracek. He's doing nothing. So yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good.
You're up like a point right now.
Yeah, I am now. Yep.
Oh boy.
There it is.
Yep. That's fun.
I am comfortably in the lead in both of mine, finally. I was a little nervous last night. My one team decided not to show up yesterday, so
I saw it judged on your response on Twitter. I went to go look and what's he talking about? I checked today and you were fine.
Yeah. I had 8 or 9 players. He had 3, so should have. And he was up by 9 as of last night, so I'm now comfortably ahead.
You turned that around real quick, Bruce.
I should be good. Well, I picked up Binnington. It's like the dude owes me a freaking win after carrying for most of the season. I'm doing sweet bleep all. He got me a win today, so
they crushed Nashville, eh?
It was over by the middle of the second period.
I looked. I saw it earlier in the day. It was 1-0 Nashville, and I was kind of like, oh man, that's not great. I've got Tarasenko now. Thanks, Tyler.
Whatever. Did I drop him?
And Robert Thomas. But yeah, you know what, Tyler, that's you don't have to give me anything for my birthday or Christmas this year. That was just a lovely gift. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
What a jerk. Just keeps rubbing it in.
And they got 4 games this week, don't they?
They do.
Or is it 3 games this week?
It's
okay.
I already lost in that league, so I didn't care anymore. But
it's fine because Bruce sniped Swayman from me today off the wire also. Like 5 minutes before I was going to grab him too. I think you knew I was going to grab him at 11 o'clock, and Bruce was like, yeah, that's happening.
Well, in that league, I was comfortably ahead by 40 points, and my opposition only had like 3 players playing today. So it's like, well, let's take a look to next week and what we've got. So I found a goalie that should play on off nights, and I got Swayman who plays on the busy nights. So which to Sturkin. So hopefully I've got some coverage there. So
yeah, I was probably too conservative this morning, Bruce. I was in a similar situation to you. I was up by like 30 or 35 points, and I had about 10 or 11 guys, and he had 3 or 4. So I probably should just grab Swayman. But you know what? I ended up getting Raanta in both leagues, and hopefully he doesn't shit the bed. In theory, it's a good move, but we'll see.
Yeah, I looked at him too, but it's like in history, yeah. But this year he's just been too up and down.
You know what?
For me,
to quote,
granted, the 2 goalies I picked weren't much better.
To quote my lifelong friend Tyler Homan, sometimes you got to risk it to get the biscuit, and that's what I did today.
That's
absolutely.
Right.
Actually, hey, before we move on, I noticed you're wearing your Yankees hat again today.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to bring that up. It just happened. I just threw it on.
Nice. Okay, well, here we are, episode 58, week 27, waiver wire picks and preview. We're getting down to it now. We've got, this is either going to be semifinals or finals for a lot of people this week. So we're going to be releasing Monday morning tomorrow, and then probably the following Monday, and then we're going to start changing up our schedule and our format a bit, just so our listeners know. But Before we get into the show, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's listened and supported the show this year. We've had an absolute blast doing this. All the reviews and kind words and questions and all that kind of stuff has really been appreciated.
Except for that one guy.
That one guy. There's always that one guy, though. So what do you do?
Jerk.
What do you do?
Was that the Reddit guy?
I don't know. Who was that guy? Was it on Reddit?
It was right at the start.
It was Reddit, I think. And
Yeah. I don't know. It was right at the start, and I don't know. We were trash.
Oh, yeah.
He was trash.
Okay, so maybe there's two guys. There's always two guys.
There's two guys?
Well, the one I know which one you're talking about. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
We're going to waste like 20 minutes talking about, like, I'm going to add them guys to the list.
That guy, he's got a lifelong membership to the list for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Which, John, speaking of which, should we move on to the list?
Sure we can.
Okay, so you have, I guess, for anyone that is new to the show, if you haven't listened before, John's list is just his shit list of players, past and present, and sometimes it's not even players, right, John? It's, like today, so have at her.
Yeah, actually, today's member of the list is actually courtesy of Mr. Mikey McLaughlin.
Yep, you nailed that one. Didn't botch it at all. Keep going.
No, didn't watch that one.
Oh, man. And, it's actually TV programming in general with blockouts and crappy feeds and everything else. We're in a day and age where if you subscribe to something, you should be able to watch whatever you want. Like, say you're going for, like, Fantasy on Ice or something like that, or NHL Center Ice, or having those local blackouts and everything else. It just shouldn't be there.
I'm with you. 1,000%. I hate it. And actually,
Absolutely.
So I missed the Oilers game yesterday, right? 2:00 start. I shouldn't say that. I caught the first period, and then we had some family stuff we were doing, so I was like, well, I'm going to go back to the replay, and I'll watch the second and third period later on. Yeah, I go and I want to turn it on, and it was giving me like the top 50 plays of the week on Sportsnet Now. So Sportsnet Now, you're on my list. Yep, doofuses.
Oh, yeah, that whole app sucks.
And what made me really mad, though, was after the Leafs game was over, the entire thing was there within 5 minutes. And I checked about 2 hours later again to see if the Oilers game was on. No, so it actually, you know what it did? It took me to 5 minutes left in the third period. So if I didn't know the score in that game, that just would have ruined the whole thing for me. So thank you, Sportsnet Now. But I'm with you, John.
Well, didn't Mike say so? He had ESPN Plus, so that's the subscription package in the U.S. for ESPN Sports, and he could not watch the hockey games on ESPN Plus.
Yep.
That's just
it's insane.
Messed up.
Like
absolutely messed up.
You can't watch ESPN NHL games on ESPN Plus.
Outrageous.
Just totally messed up. Disney will figure it out eventually, right?
Or not, and we'll just keep paying for it.
They'll start playing Marvel movies instead of hockey games.
Fair enough. Okay, John, thanks. That was good. Like that one this week.
Yeah. Okay.
We can't argue with you. I think we all agree. So that's we're not going to fight about it. With that, I'm just Tyler's making some extra notes here. Thanks, buddy. Let's move on to Fantasy Lock of the Week, April 11th to the 17th, presented by Left Wing Lock. This week's lock is Vladimir Tarasenko. And I'm not just taking a jab at Tyler here. He actually was. I'm sorry. I genuinely, I'm sorry.
He's
but
not.
He was, I think, the top scorer this week. He had 8 points, 6 goals, 2 game winners, 2 on the power play, 10 shots on goal. It's just over 60 minutes of ice time, I believe, in 4 games played. And he's having quite the bounce back season. He's playing an 87-point pace. He's already posted 73 points and 32 goals in 69 games. Thanks for adding that little tip there, Tyler, little note.
You're welcome.
His line mate is pretty close to him.
Robert Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas, I don't know, I haven't checked his totals lately, actually, but he was about a point per game.
He has got, 13 games, past 13 games, 25 points. I don't know what the season one is. I didn't.
He's cruising. He's cruising. I'm fortunate enough to have both of those guys in the one league.
He has 72 points in 65 games.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay, so there you have it. Good to see. Obviously, he had 2 really rough years where he only played 20 or 25 games and didn't do a whole lot. So it was good to see him have a productive season this year. And have you guys heard? I don't think he actually lifted his trade request formally, but I did hear something about he told his teammates and his coaches he wanted to be in St. Louis.
I read that today that he told the Blues definitely he wants to stay now.
There you go.
So that was a report I read today.
And given the way that team is
That'd be
playing,
good for them.
Like,
yeah. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you want to stay?
I'm pretty sure Seattle probably would have liked to have him.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
I think
could have had
they
him for
got-
nothing.
I think they got in their own way a little bit with their draft because they could have had a couple guys that, sure, the cap hit might have been a little bit high, but they could have had him, did something with him after. So
Well, and if they weren't like, if they grab him and they don't make the playoffs, you just flip him at the deadline, and somebody's gonna pay for him.
yep.
Yeah. Don't like what they're doing in Seattle. Honorable mentions go to Tim Stutzle. 8 points, 5 goals, 3 assists, 1 game winner, 2 power play points, 10 shots on goal.
2 dives.
Just what's that?
2 dives.
2
Yeah,
dives. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, is there a fancy stat for penalties drawn?
There actually is there's a stat for that.
Of course there
Yeah.
is.
Of course, yeah, there is. There actually is.
Is it
Just
pitch?
under 20 minutes of ice time.
What's his pitch?
Yeah. What's it? I'll have to look it up. I haven't actually taken a look at it, but yeah, lots of talk about Stutzle and diving and all the rest of it. But he's actually been very, very good since mid-February, and I've got that note in the waiver wire section or segment because we'll talk about that there too. But he's got 29 points in his last 28 games, going back to February 15th.
Nice.
Yeah, he's been great. Ottawa, lots of fantasy value in Ottawa right now. And then of course the other one, and John, this isn't. Well, actually, I put this in here for one reason: is Mike Smith is the other honorable mention here. He went 2-0-0 last week, but he had 69 saves for 2 shutouts.
Nice.
Nice.
So,
Dude's
That's
still
just-
trash. You guys can tag me whenever you want on Twitter. I'm just gonna tell you he's still straight up trash. I don't care what kind of number he puts up.
what if they win 2 rounds in the playoffs this year?
Don't care. Still trash.
Still trash. What if
Still trash.
Whatever. I won't even say it. But okay, still trash. Still trash.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But he sure battles. Schmitty battles. Let me tell you.
Just getting him up and running, you know? Just took the whole year.
Hey,
He's
Ken
up and
Holland,
running.
when'd you get here? All right. That does it for our fantasy lock of the week. Before I move on, and I mentioned this to you guys off air earlier. Ken Campbell, formerly of the Hockey News, has joined the Hockey Podcast Network. His new podcast, Hockey Unfiltered, is coming to the network soon. I don't have a lot of details on it other than I've got an audio clip here that I'm going to preview for our listeners now. So here it is.
Hi, I'm here with Ken Campbell. He's a 30-year veteran of the hockey journalism world. He's most known for never making hot takes. And certainly, even if he did, there's no chance they'd blow up in his face.
No chance. And this is Dylan Waugh, my co-host. And he's also the brains behind the Hockey Unfiltered empire. He built the set. He has all the technology. He produces every episode. And he actually wrote and recorded on his own the theme music for our podcast. So he's actually quite a valuable member of this team. And if he could just kind of learn a little bit about hockey, he'd actually make himself invaluable.
And the best news of all is that Hockey Unfiltered is joining the Hockey Podcast Network. So if you want to hear from NHL GMs and the top insiders in the game, You won't want to miss this new podcast starring Ken Campbell, the NHL's #1 outsider, coming soon to the Hockey Podcast Network.
All right.
Oh, that was so good.
So good. So good. Let's move forward to headlines with the Hacks. News and injury updates for April 11th to the 17th. As I mentioned previously, Left Wing Lock, our partner, has developed a playoff probabilities tool. The link is here in the show notes. Go check it out. Last I checked, the Oilers were at about 98% probability to make the playoffs, and things were getting interesting between LA and Vegas. Obviously, LA gave themselves a bit of breathing room with a win yesterday, and Vegas getting shut out by the Oilers, but interesting nonetheless. And I think as Oilers fans, we really just want LA in the first round. I don't think you want to take on Vegas. Like, if they get healthy, if they get everybody back in time for the first round, I don't really want to deal with that.
I don't know. They don't seem like the same team. I don't know.
Maybe not.
I think LA is probably the
didn't watch
the easier pass there, but I think everybody's worried about Vegas, but they just don't look like the same team that they always have. So,
anybody watch the game on Saturday?
Well, Tyler, you probably watched it.
The Oilers game.
The Oilers game.
I just caught the last 5 minutes actually.
I'm just curious to see how Mark Stone played, because after his first game, he said he was awfully sore. So I'm just because he's been back for 3 games now. Is essentially he didn't even get a shot on goal on Saturday.
I know. I picked him up. He hasn't done anything for me. So
You dummy.
yeah, that was pretty stupid. I thought I was being smart because nobody else was picking him up, and he was coming back in. I did that with Price too. Didn't work out.
No. But, I mean, Stone has never really been a volume shooter, right? It's more of a playmaker. But, nothing. He was a minus. He was a -1 on Saturday.
The reason why I picked him up
1 block
is because as a leader of that team and kind of where they are trying to get in, I thought maybe he could do something. But obviously that whatever injury he had with his back or whatever else is still obviously affecting him because he's doing nothing. So
yeah, I'm surprised he came back actually before the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'm beginning to think they brought him back early.
Yeah, I think so too.
To try and get them into the playoffs.
And it's not even that their goaltending is a problem. Like Brossois, I think, is out right now.
Thompson's been good.
Logan Thompson's playing. He's playing all right. It's not even the goaltending that's really letting him down. And that's what you probably would have thought would have been kind of their demise, but it's not. So
yeah, I don't have any answers, but I'm loving it. Honestly, I want that team to go nowhere in a hurry for many reasons. But let's move on. Let's go to headlines here. Starting with NHL 3 stars of the week, Austin Matthews, Tyler, your favorite. 11 points, 7 goals in 4 games. Oh, yeah, sorry, buddy. John Carlson, 8 points in 3 games. And Jonathan Huberdeau, 7 points, 3 goals in 3 games. Speaking of Austin Matthews, Tyler, my stepdad Milt was listening to a clip, and he thought, man, are you guys always so harsh on the Toronto Maple Leafs? And I said, well,
you're damn right.
Generally.
That's how we roll.
I said, I don't know. We have listeners from Ontario, and thank you to those of you that listen to us, but it must hurt your ears sometimes.
Is Milt a Leafs fan?
No, he's a diehard Oilers guy, but
oh, good.
But he's got friends or family, whoever that are Leafs fans, and
that's too bad.
So he just thought it was kind of funny. He had a good chuckle. Drew Doughty out for the season after undergoing surgery on his wrist. So Tyler, going back to your point about LA being probably the better matchup, now no Drew Doughty, and your best defenseman there is Sean Durzi. That's not ideal.
No, in a playoff matchup, McDavid could potentially get shut down against Doughty. So not having him in there that's a big deal. So
We like that. Evgeny Malkin has been suspended 4 games for cross-checking Mark Borowiecki. Honestly, we were talking about this. John, was that you and I talking about this? Or no, I was talking to Dave about it. You guys help me understand. Like, to me, it's essentially the same play as Austin Matthews on Dahlin, but I thought visually Matthews looked worse. I understand Malkin hit Borowiecki in the teeth, and so that's probably why it's 4 games. But same play, shot to the head, cross check to the face, whatever. 2 games for Matthews, 4 for Malkin. Like, what's the scoop?
I'm pretty sure the Department of Player Safety has a Wheel of Fortune wheel. They just take a look at it and they just hit spin, and then it just, he gets 4 games, he gets 2 games, he gets nothing. That's like, I don't know. You can't figure out what the Department of Player Safety does, because I don't think they even know what they're doing sometimes.
Okay. Am I wrong, or do you guys, it just seems odd, especially when they were so close together?
Yeah.
No, it's odd.
Yeah. And then
I think it's kind of a professional league-wide thing too, because you see that stuff in the NFL. Whatever it is that they do, drinking and driving, whatever, you get 3 games. You bet on something and you get, I think the guy got a year or 2 years or something like that. You never really know. Yeah,
got a year.
You can do the same thing and it's a longer suspension. It's not even really based off history, like past history for the player. So,
yeah.
Malkin definitely made it worth it, though.
Oh, sure. Took a couple teeth there. Okay. Owen Power played his first NHL game with the Buffalo Sabres. They beat the Leafs 5-2. Bruce, you and I were talking about that. Buffalo has owned the Leafs this year, strangely enough.
Yeah, absolutely. They have definitely done that.
Maddie,
It's
what's
good
that?
to see.
It's good to see.
It's good to see.
All good. Matty Beignets played his first game for the Seattle Kraken. He registered an assist for his first NHL point. And then there were a number of achievements or milestones reached on Tuesday, and some of those include Chris Kreider's first 50-goal season, which kind of came out of nowhere, I think, for most people.
Don't think anybody expected that. That's fantastic for him, though.
Johnny Goudreau reached 100 points for the first time in his career. He's had a fantastic season. Being a Flame or not, whatever, he's been good. Anthony Duclair reached 30 goals. Actually, I had mentioned, we had a listener question, and I said, I think Anthony Duclair probably scored the quietest 30 goals I've ever seen. Like, I had to actually just looked at his numbers yesterday or the day before and realized he had 30 goals. It's crazy. Yeah. Patrice Bergeron scored 20 goals for the 13th time in his career. No surprise there. John Carlson hit the 50 assist plateau for the 4th time in his career. Connor Garland set a career best in points with 40, and Quinn Hughes set a career best in points with 54. The Canucks are coming on right now. It's been hot lately. Not out of it yet. Carter Hart and Cam Atkinson left Tuesday night's game with lower body injuries. The news out of Philly is that Carter Hart could be out for the rest of the season. I don't think that would surprise anyone, Bruce, given that they're not going anywhere.
No, exactly. They're out of the playoffs, so there's no point in rushing them back.
You can go out and get Felix Sandstrom if you're looking for a Carter Hart replacement.
Like Martin Jones will be just fine.
Mike, our buddy Mike from Left Wing Lock, also suffered an apparent lower body injury while watching the Flyers game on Tuesday. We're going to put that tweet in the show notes. Mike, we hope you're okay.
We didn't ask. We're just going to do it.
Yeah. Freddie Anderson tried his hand playing fourth for the Hurricanes. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I think for anyone that missed it, he was on a delayed penalty call, right, Bruce? And he just skated up ice and managed to pick up the puck. And he actually made a nice play back to the D-man.
He had a very nice play.
Slick hands on that guy. Ryan Hartman was fined $4,250 for flipping the bird to Evander Kane. Kane's ex-wife then Venmo'd Hart $200 and said thank you, and then the world collectively jumped on board and everybody sent Hartman money. And the last thing I saw was like $35,000 that he was going to donate to a children's charity. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Incredible.
So interesting story. I don't know. I don't know if I, whatever. It's great that they're donating money to charity and stuff, but that's where I'll leave that.
If his ex-wife doesn't make
Well,
John's list at some point here, I'm gonna have to make my own damn list. What
I'm
an
with
idiot.
I'm with you, Tyler. I'm with you.
Yeah, John, we were just talking about this at work the other day. Like, I think you and I both agreed that
She's the
she
worst.
there's something wrong with her, right?
Oh,
Obviously.
absolutely,
Lots.
there is.
She's got some
Lots.
issues.
Yeah, like he's
And-
no saint either, but like,
no,
holy.
we're not sitting here like standing up for Kane, but yeah, there's something going on there. It's pretty interesting. The Vegas Golden Knights worked some salary cap voodoo magic and activated Mark Stone from LTIR. People are up in arms about that. I mean, they've been in the past, they've been upset about it, but it's just one of those things that Vegas just keeps doing it and working their way around it, and whatever.
If they don't make the playoffs this year, not much will come of it. So
I think that's honestly the biggest reason why people don't want them to make the playoffs. That and how they've treated their players in the past.
absolutely,
Trash.
exactly right.
Trash organization. Vladimir Tarasenko reached the 30-goal mark for the 6th time in his career. Austin Matthews hit 100 points for the first time in his career. And then, did you guys hear anything about it? I didn't see much. There's not much posted about Austin Matthews reaching 100 points. Pretty quiet. Next, Carey Price returned to action with the Montreal Canadiens after missing most of the season with a knee injury. Was he good in his first start, Tyler? How do you do there?
He played well. He gave up 2 goals, but he played well. It was 0-0 till like 10 minutes left in the third period. So
Yeah, one of the goals was a 3-on-0.
yeah,
So that was
yeah,
welcome back. Here you go.
yeah.
Thanks.
Carey will save us.
He'll do his best. Bo Horvat will miss at least the next 2 weeks due to lower body injury. I mean, he'll be done for the regular season. If you're a Bo Horvat owner in fantasy, you've either dropped him already or you should be. So, Sergey Bobrowski set a franchise record in wins with 36 this year. Some sad news: Mike Bossie passed away at the age of 65. Pretty young. It's sad news.
Yeah, way too early.
Did you
Way
guys
too
see
young.
the write-up he did in the Players Tribune, I think in 2018?
No.
It's definitely worth
No.
a read. I guess he actually told the media that he wasn't going to fight anymore. Like made it kind of public knowledge he's not going to fight at all anymore. And for that time in the 80s, when hockey was not at all what it is today, where guys would literally just be on the ice to go and assault you, really, just hack you and whack you, and hopefully you were hurt and couldn't come back and play. It's too bad that he took as much abuse as he did, because he ended up having a back injury. I think he only played 10 seasons, but one of the purest goal scorers to ever play. It's just too bad he did it during that time period.
Yeah, no question. Well, Bruce, you probably would have watched a lot more of them than either three of us.
Yeah. Lots of Oilers and
I got my info from my grandpa. So
There you go. you got a solid source. You got a solid source.
Absolutely.
I found the article here. Well, I don't know if it's the right article, Tyler, but it's a letter to my younger self. It was in 2017. Is that the article? Okay, from the Players Tribune, I'm just gonna copy and paste this link, and I'll put it in the show notes for anyone that's listening.
it really gives you a glimpse into what it was like to play then and what his thoughts were. And he was kind of ahead of his time and more of a kind of today's player playing with, I mean, basically wild animals at that time compared to what it is now. Like, I mean, that's what it was. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah, no question. Penguins announced Tristan Jarry is week to week with a lower body injury. He's got a broken bone in his foot. So, obviously, Casey DeSmith, next man up. We'll talk about him in the waiver wire ads. The Golden Knights announced Leonard has returned to Las Vegas for personal reasons. We don't have any information on the timeline there when he'll be back, but it's not injury related, so shouldn't be too long. Miro Heiskanen reached the 30 assist mark for the first time in his career. Ryan Hartman, spoke of him earlier, joins a 30-goal club with a goal on Saturday. Mike Smith, now with back-to-back shutouts. Not a bad waiver pickup, yeah. John just left.
John just left.
He's got zero time for it. It's hilarious. Freddie Anderson was helped off the ice in Saturday's game after making a save versus the Avalanche. Oh, hey, John, you're back. It really just hurts you, eh? Like, does it hurt your ears when I say that name?
Can we talk
Horrible.
Can we talk more about him?
No.
We should.
You already talk about him too much.
He's just been really good lately. What do you want from me?
Oh, yeah, Mike Smith for Vezina.
Hashtag
No,
Mike Smith for Vezina.
No.
No, not really. Michael
That's right,
Bunting.
That's Koskinen.
Let's talk about Michael Bunting. Hit the 60-point mark Saturday night. Sorry, Leafs fans, he is still not winning the Calder. So, I mean, let's have that conversation here quickly. John, I know you hate when 25-year-old players
26.
get nominated for the Calder. 26 or 26,
That
yeah.
guy's 26?
He's 26.
26 years old, Michael Bunting.
No,
Bunting's
he can't
26,
win.
yeah.
I agree.
That's like Bruce winning a Calder. You can't win. You can't win.
Can't skate either, so that'd be awesome.
I 100% agree, John. I think after age 22 or 23, I don't think you should be eligible for the Calder.
No, like, not at all. Like, dude's almost as old as I am. Like,
Yeah.
nuh-uh.
No, thank you. It's different. Even if you played most of your time in the AHL, you get acclimated to the professional game and you get used to playing with men. And actually, they say it's easier, right, Tyler, when you come up to the NHL because guys know.
Well, they're in the right
More-
spot.
Yeah, they're always in the right position, right? So
I think it should be like professional hockey. Just that's where your kind of baseline is for votes on the Calder. If you're playing in the NHL, if you're playing in the KHL, that's professional hockey. You're getting paid to play. So
Yeah.
If you play in college, you play anywhere else, and you come into the league. If you go straight into the NHL or play a little bit in the AHL, whatever, you're playing professional hockey now. That's kind of when the clock should start. Even Kaprizov, people talking about him for the Calder before, he was, I think, 24 or 25.
Yeah.
But playing professionally since 18 and getting paid to do it. So
Yep.
that's completely different.
I'd agree. I'd rather see a guy like Tanner Jeannot, Saskatchewan kid. He's had a hell of a season. He has the most fights in the NHL this year. 22 or 24 goals.
He did play some time in the AHL too, though.
Gotta get those penalty minutes.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
But he's not 26.
Yeah.
You know, that
Mo Seider has to be the winner for the Calder. He has to be.
I would say so.
if you look at like the level of competition he's faced, like he's been playing top pairing. Like he's been a number one workhorse defenseman all season long. Not on a great team, but I mean,
Yep.
And 50 plus points. Is he
Yeah, I
somewhere in there?
let's take a look.
I mean, on a team that's in the bottom 5 of the league.
47
top-
points, Tyler.
Yeah, playing top pairing minutes and almost 50 points as a defenseman on a team
Yeah.
that's terrible. That's pretty good. So
I can take a look here. Like, you could take a look and see what is quality competition. Try and
because
find
I
that
think
later.
even Lucas Raymond as a forward, he doesn't have much more for points than he does.
No,
Raymond's
Yeah.
at 55.
So, I mean, that's a pretty incredible season for a guy that everybody kind of rolled their eyes when he got picked where he did at the draft, and to come in and just fit in and look like he should be there. It's pretty incredible. So
Take a look at where Cole Caulfield is on that list.
is he pretty far down, Bruce?
8th.
That's pretty good.
Half a season, basically. He's 38 points. So if he would have had a decent coach for the first half of the season, he would be he'd be well ahead of Bunting even. He'd be in the 70-point range.
At that point, I don't think anybody would even be talking about anybody else other than him.
Yeah.
Anton Lendell has been quietly very good this year too. Like he's got 43 points.
For sure.
He had 2 goals today.
Yeah.
I think it's tougher because he's playing on a really good team that scores 6 goals for fun every night. And I think if you look at that and then you look at Detroit, like they're terrible, and like Mo Seider's putting up points and playing well in that position. So
yeah, no question, I'm a big fan.
Like you look at Snyder's plus minus. I know people hate the stat, but he's got 47 points and he's only minus 12 on a terrible team. Like
that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Lucas Raymond a minus 30.
Lucas Raymond's a minus 30 and he's got more points. So he's putting together a good rookie season.
There you have it. All right. Some other firsts that happened on Saturday. Well, we mentioned Matty Benier. Jack McBain picked up his first NHL point in a game versus Calgary. Ben Meyer scored his first NHL goal in his first game with the Avalanche. Robert Thomas, Bruce, you'd mentioned this earlier, but 25 points, 6 goals in his 13-game point streak. He's been crazy good. Rasmus Dahlin reached the 50-point mark for the first time in his career. And I think I saw something on Twitter. He was the first Sabres defenseman in 26 years to reach 50 points.
Yep. Yeah. Incredible.
Yep.
A long span of time to go without having a offensive defenseman like that.
I didn't know this, Bruce, so thanks for ruining my Sunday. Zach Werenski left Sunday's game with an upper body injury. Did you see what happened?
Sorry. No, I didn't see.
Bound to happen, I suppose. Austin Matthews missed Sunday's game. He's day-to-day with an undisclosed injury. Okay, there you have it. There is headlines with the Hacks. Now's probably a good time to tell our listeners about NHLShop.ca. The Fantasy Hockey Hacks podcast is a proud partner of NHLShop.ca, the best source for all your officially licensed NHL apparel and merchandise. Follow the links in our show notes or on our website. Save up to 50% on select apparel now and get free shipping on orders over $99. Use promo code NHLFS99 at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details. Full disclosure, Fantasy Hockey Hacks may receive a small commission for your purchase, which helps us to continue providing original content and fueling Tyler's gambling habits. Tyler, you got to give us the breakdown, man. What happened this week?
I actually won last night.
Oh, nice.
Other than that, though, it's been as John would say, trash. It's been trash. But I won $120 last night, so that should pay for next week at least.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was gonna send you a little Family Guy clip or whatever, and it was like Peter Griffin going to go bet on like college football or something like that, and he just gives him like $20 or something, and he's like, "Oh no, keep it. I lost anyway, or I'm gonna lose anyways." So
yeah, that's me.
There you have it. I won like $8 in DFS last night, so there's that.
Whew.
Nice.
Guess who's going to Starbucks?
Going to Starbucks. That'll get me half a bottle of water.
Grande something.
Just grande something.
Was that the Buffalo stack you used to get that?
That was actually the Calgary stack against Arizona. I took that first line. And I want to say it was Heischer and Bratt, but I can't. I have to go back and look. But, you know, I have fun with it. You know, I make a few bucks here and there, whatever. It's not a big deal, but it's hard to actually make money, right? You see some of these guys, and the thing that's frustrating is it's one or two players difference, right? The guy that's winning $500 or $1,000 that night, it's one or two players difference. So I'm hoping, I'm just like Tyler. I'm not going to play, you know, he's doing parlays. I'm just trying to get the right mix of guys. So maybe one day I can cash in, but we'll see. With that, guys, let's move on to our next segment here. Ask the Hacks.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately.
Starting off with, would you drop Ottinger for Varlamov this week? Dallas plays Tampa. I have Markstrom, Hellebuck, and Ottinger. The New York Islanders have a back-to-back. So this was from earlier in the week. No, I think my advice was no, hold on to Ottinger.
Yeah, well, and Varlamov is out with an illness still, so he's missed the past 3 games, I think.
Yeah, Sorokin started again today.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Easy enough question there. This one, my apologies. I didn't have a chance to really dive deep into this question here, guys, but let's just talk it out, I guess. 14-team, 22-man roster, keeper league. Choose 5 of the following players to protect. Each player is protected in the slot they were initially drafted in 3 years ago. Categories include goals, assists, penalty minutes, plus minus, power play points, shots on goal, hits, blocks, wins, goals against average, save percentage, and shutouts. So the players he has here, you have to pick 5 of them. Marner in the first round, Hedman in the second, Eichel in the third, Zibanejad in the 7th, McAvoy in the 8th, Hintz in the 11th, and Markstrom in the 12th. Really quick, I think you're gonna keep Marner, right? First round, I don't think you're gonna get much better value than that.
Not too much.
John, I know you like Hedman. Are you taking Hedman in the second?
I don't know if I'm taking him in the second.
Zibanejad in the 7th seems like great value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hintz in the 11th is really good value too, and Markstrom in the 12th. If I'm looking at it, so I mean for me, yeah, Marner, Zibanejad, Hintz, Markstrom, and maybe Hedman. What do you guys think? Any differences of opinion there? Anybody keeping Eichel?
Probably not in the 3rd round. No, I probably wouldn't. He's gonna do well for Vegas next year, but I don't think it's going to be that well yet.
I think McAvoy in the 8th round is good value too, but just based on unlimited options here, yeah, I don't think I'm keeping him. Okay, so we're going Marner in the 1st, Hedman in the 2nd, Zibanejad in the 7th, Hintz in the 11th, and Markstrom in the 12th.
I think so.
Good stuff. There you have it. Will the Florida Panthers or other contenders start sitting their top players?
They can't. They don't have enough cap space.
Oh no, but I mean, I think you're going to see some of this where they're going to rotate some guys in or out, like they can. Because usually you have room where you can move in like an AHL guy or somebody else who can come and play a game or two, right?
Because right now they have got, where is Florida? So they've got $200,000, just under $200,000 left in LTIR. So they've got to rotate the players they've got because they can't bring anybody up.
I think
unless they put someone on IR or LTIR.
Yeah, I see Florida like in the last week of the season. You don't think that I think they'll just say, look, we're gonna play shorthanded. We'll sit Huberdeau and Barkov for a game or two.
I don't know if they'll sit them, but you might see the minutes balance a bit more between the 4 lines instead of playing one line heavily. They'll just roll 4 lines for the game and just cut the amount of cut their ice time back.
I hadn't really considered the cap situation there, Bruce, but I just know in past years, usually you see contenders like that, they just start sitting guys.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, John, what's...
Not as much as you see in football or basketball.
Load management in basketball, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
John, what's your take, John? You see some guys sitting for Florida or some other top teams around the league?
Yeah, I could see them if possible. Yeah, for sure. I think they'll sit some players if they can. You just don't want to risk the injuries, or you want to give guys as much time to heal up for playoffs as possible. So, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Some of these teams are still playing for home ice advantage, right? So,
yeah, I mean, obviously you want to try and lock that up, but if you're someone like Florida where it doesn't really matter at this point, like you don't care. Yeah. I think we'll see. They might try and make something work, or like Jay said, just reduce their minutes drastically. Either way, it's going to have an impact on your fantasy value, right, for those players. Yeah. And I guess one thing I'd mentioned, too, to the listener was that in our podcast league, that's why the schedule ends a week before the regular season is over. And I think we've done that in some of our NFL leagues, too, hey, guys?
Yeah, we try to, because the last week, any team that has made the playoffs generally doesn't play their starters
It's
in the
brutal
NFL.
in the NFL. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there you have it.
John will remember that.
I don't want to talk about it.
Let's move on. Yeah.
Terrible.
All right. Who do you think will be the most underrated player in next season's fantasy hockey drafts? I threw this out to you guys yesterday through the group chat. Tyler obviously didn't see it yet. Notifications still turned off. You should stop ignoring us and turn those back on.
What a jerk.
So Tyler, just so you know, Mike chimed in and he had suggested Brock Besser and Sean Couturier as some guys that could be underrated in next year's drafts. I also mentioned Duclair because, like I said earlier, I think he's a guy who might end up putting up another 30 goals next year, and potentially, and so he'll go kind of farther down in drafts. But any other takes, John, Bruce, Tyler?
I was just kind of looking.
Not really.
Maybe Sagan. He's kind of due for a bounce back year. Last year with the short season, he was hurt for pretty much the entire thing. This year, he had a really, really, really slow start. He does have 23 goals now. But that might be somebody just because of the last 2 years that's going to kind of overlook him in the draft. That's somebody you could probably get late. I was looking through here. That's probably the best answer. It's going to be somebody that's hasn't done what you thought they were going to and has the ability to do that again.
Yeah. One name that came to mind for me was Jordan Kairu. Just based on how good Thomas and Tarasenko have been lately, it seems like he's kind of been forgotten a little bit, but he was that team's leading scorer for pretty much the entire season, and he's cooled off here lately, so I wonder if people are going to sort of forget about him in the offseason a bit.
Probably.
Could be a bit of a later
Makes
draft
sense.
pick, but
You should follow that up with who's the most overrated going into next year, and that's probably going to be Matt Duchene, I would think, or Troy Terry.
I think people, like, the word is out on Troy Terry. I don't think anyone's going to, like...
It's going to be how, like...
Someone's going to reach
it
for
depends
Terry,
on the league
really.
you're in. Like, if you're in ESPN, they're going to probably rank them top 15 or something like that, right? And
Like Martinez.
Guys are going to auto draft them. But I guess it all depends on your league.
Duchene, for sure, Tyler. Like, how many goals did he have last year?
Like, less
He had
than
a terrible
10.
season last year.
Yeah, he was in single digits, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to pull that up here.
Well, him and Johansen both had terrible seasons last year.
He had 6. He had 6 goals and 13 points in 34 games last year.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And
Ouch.
so I plucked him off the wire in 2 different leagues this year when he started rolling a little bit, right? He's on an 88-point pace. He's got 77 points right now and 39 goals. That's insane.
Nice. Well, back to where he was, right?
Well, he's set new career highs now. Like, his best season before that was 31 goals in 2018-19.
That was Colorado? or
That was
that
Ottawa and Columbus.
Ottawa.
And then before that was 30 goals with Colorado. And that was that year, if you remember, was it Patrick Waugh who was coaching the team at the time? And Duchene, so the team was out of it, but he celebrated hard when he scored his 30th, and Patrick Waugh told him to act like he'd scored before. It's pretty funny. But no, that's a good one, Tyler. So I think of another one that would be overrated. Nothing comes to mind right away, but think of it later. Okay, now's a good time to move on to DraftKings, guys. And John, how do you feel about doing it again this week?
I'm sure I could make it.
Okay, I will be back in 2 minutes.
I was going to say, are you ready to run?
Yeah, you take it away, buddy.
As a member of the Hockey Podcast Network, the Fantasy Hockey Hacks is a proud partner of DraftKings. Hockey fans, feel the action on the ice like never before with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NHL. Right now, new customers can bet just $1 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets if they do. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still hit the ice for cold, hard cash. New customers can make their first deposit and play free for thousands with DraftKings daily fantasy hockey contests. Draft your lineup of 8 skaters and a goalie and rack up points for goals, assists, saves, and more. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. And thank you for my TED Talk. As Devin and Tyler are still missing in action, and Bruce and I are sitting here like a bunch of lunatics.
Well, you still got another paragraph to go yet. One more. You got to read the stuff that's not bolded.
No. Oh,
yeah.
Fine. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code THP. Oh, yeah, I do definitely have to read that. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN and bet just $1 on any NHL team to win and get $150 in free bets if they do. That's code. Is that the right code?
THPN.
Devin forgot.
Yeah, you forgot to update the code. It's THPN.
It's THPN.
So yeah, promo code THPN at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NHL. Must be 21 plus. Restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Wow, that was a mess.
I missed the whole thing, so
you're gonna listen to this again and be like, "What the heck?" Tyler's doing it next time.
Okay. Yep. Tyler, it's yours next time, bud.
Nope, he's not.
It was
gonna say
awesome.
that. I promise you.
It was awesome.
Before we move on, for anyone that needs assistance or has gambling troubles, we've got all the information there, all the text lines, the phone numbers. It's in our it's in the description of the show notes. It's on our website, fantasyhockeyhacks.com. Tyler, I'm mostly pointing at you right now.
I know you are.
Yeah.
looking right at me.
Right at you, buddy. Okay, well, John, thanks for doing that. Yeah, the promo code, that's my bad. I had copied and pasted that, so.
Don't worry, I missed a paragraph earlier, so.
Okay.
Good thing we got
stuff.
Bruce here.
You know what? Thanks, Bruce, for catching that. I think it's good we live up to our names every once in a while.
Definitely.
Call
Good
us
stuff.
the fantasy hockey morons.
Quote of the day, my friend. Quote of the day.
We should change the logo.
Picture of Tyler.
Well played.
Oh,
Well
shoot.
played. John's just throwing darts today. This is great. All right, let's move on to our next segment here. Edge Work, the segment where we do the work to give you the edge in your fantasy hockey leagues. That's going to be rather important this week as we're in the semifinals and finals for a lot of leagues. Week 27, we'll start with the schedule here. Total of 58 games on the schedule with typical light days. That's 50% or fewer NHL teams in action falling on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We actually get a rare Sunday that's packed with 11 games, so plan your week accordingly. The majority of the league, that's 21 teams, will play 4 games this week, so lots of guys in action. 10 teams are playing 3 games, and the Buffalo Sabres are the lone team to play just twice. If you're looking to add players that will help optimize your number of games played, i.e. play on light days, take a look at the Arizona Coyotes, the Colorado Avalanche, the Seattle Kraken, and the Washington Capitals. They play 3 games on light days. Just a quick summary here. Monday, 6 games. Tuesday, 10. Wednesday, 4. Thursday, 11. Friday, 4. Saturday, 12. And Sunday, 11. There you go. So, and then, of course, in our show notes, as always, we've got teams with 4 games listed, teams with 3 games listed, teams with 2 games listed. And then we're just going to talk about some teams of interest here. First up, the Colorado Avalanche. 4 games on the schedule for next week, and they have an ideal schedule. All 4 of their games fall on light days. The Avs are 8-1-1 in their last 10 games played. That's an .850 points percentage, placing them second in the league over that stretch. Only Florida has a higher points percentage at .909. Also during that time frame, the Avs are third in shots per game at 37.8, fourth on the power play at 32%, and seventh in goals for per game at 3.90. They've had success against their opponents. Obviously, for the upcoming week, the only loss coming against the Washington Capitals on October 19th. It was a 6-3 loss. But other than that, the Avs against upcoming opponents are 7-1-0. I mean, it's the Avs. They pretty much spank everyone, right? So no surprise there. But sorry, Tyler's he's rolling on the floor right now. Some players to consider. Andre Burakovsky, he's been getting some time up in the top 6 with Landeskog out. I think he's a great option if he's available in your league. He's roughly 65% rostered. Valerie Nashon's another great alternative. He's been putting up goals with frequency, 36% rostered. Nicholas Aube-Kubel, Alex Newhook, Bowen Byram, Sam Girard, and Pavel Francouz. Francouz is always good for a spot start when you get an opportunity. John, I was going to put Bowen Byram in the waiver wire ads. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have enough production to warrant that right now. So
I'd agree with that. He's played decent in the games he's played, but he just not quite enough to be there yet.
Yeah, for fantasy purposes, just not enough there. And then some other teams here you want to take a look at. Excuse me. Minnesota, 7-1-2 in their last 10 games. They play Montreal, Vancouver, Seattle, and Nashville, so they've got a great schedule next week. St. Louis, who's kind of steamrolling everyone right now. They're 9-0-1 in their last 10, including is it an 8-game win streak now?
I think it's 8 now.
Today. And they face Boston, San Jose, Arizona, and Anaheim. Take a look at them. They've got a strength of schedule from left wing lock of -19 for Minnesota and -16 for St. Louis. So any guys you can grab there. I mean, Barbashev, I picked him up today for just a spot start or a stream. He had 2 assists. There's some fantasy value to be had there, right, guys?
Definitely.
Tyler agrees. We're getting the nod of approval here. Teams with 3 games. Again, like I said, it's in the show notes, but I'll rattle these off quick because there's a few of them. So it's Anaheim, Columbus, Edmonton, LA, Nashville, New York, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Vegas, and Winnipeg. And the team of interest I've got here, and Edmonton could have been on this list too, but I've got the Vegas Golden Knights. Strength of schedule is -2. At the time of writing, they were 2 points behind the Dallas Stars for the final wild card spot and 1 point behind the LA Kings for 3rd in the Pacific Division. That changed a bit yesterday with the loss against Edmonton and LA's win over Columbus. According to Left Wing Lock, I didn't check this today, actually. This was yesterday I was writing this, but Vegas had a 49.5% chance of qualifying for the postseason, and the Kings have dropped to 59%.
It's half that now. Vegas is like 20-some percent.
Oh, to take a big hit? Okay.
It took a hit,
okay.
A big one.
Yeah, so I didn't have time to check that again, but that's interesting.
Yeah, it is 23.9% today.
Oh, boy. There you go.
Wowzers.
You know what, Bruce? You made my day. You made my day. Forget what I said earlier. That's great. Vegas is actually 7-1-1 in their last 9 games. They're 4th in points percentage, 4th in goals for per game, 8th in shots on goal per game, and 8th in unblocked shot attempts. In terms of the schedule, 3 games. They're all on light days, and they've yet to lose to one of their upcoming opponents this season. So matchups against New Jersey, who's 3-6-1 in their last 10, Washington, who's 6-4-0, San Jose, who's 1-6-3. All their games are at home, where they have a 21-14-3 record. So despite yesterday's shutout against the Oilers, shutout loss, I should say, against the Oilers, they still have some fantasy appeal, and they're going to be pushing for a playoff spot big time. So take a look at Evgeny Dadonov, Nicholas Roy, or Wah. I got to learn how to say that guy's name. William Karlsson, Chandler Stevenson, and Logan Thompson, I think, still has some value in goal. And then the last team here, 2 games on the schedule, but the Buffalo Sabres, -19 strength of schedule.
Did you ever think you were going to say that?
Well, yeah, no. I'm really just including them here because they're the only team that plays 2 games, and that's why I call them teams of interest and not maybe teams you must add. But you know what? Like I said before, I think that top line, Skinner, Tuck, and Thompson have value, the fantasy value, pretty much all the time. Like if you look at that lineup again, Skinner had 2 assists today. Tuck, I think, did he have 2 goals?
Olefson
had 2, and then Thompson had 2 goals. So there's fantasy value to be had there, right?
I was either going to pick up Olefson or Voracek today. I picked up Voracek.
Did you check the show notes earlier today, Tyler? Because Olefson's
No,
actually in our
I didn't.
waiver ads.
I did not. I was on the couch at my parents' place, and I just picked up stuff. And I lost.
Did you lose?
Yeah, down by like 2.5 or something like that now.
Oh no!
Unless Voracek gets like another
Voracek
assist or
just
two.
got an assist, didn't
Yeah, he's only got the one though. I need like 2 more.
Tyler,
And this is why you gotta check the show notes. This is why you gotta listen to this.
that's
I don't
You know
check the
what?
show notes, and I don't listen to this. I just talk on it sometimes. And look at me, I lost.
What
man,
a
you're
loser.
You're like a walking infomercial.
Yeah, and this is why you gotta check it out. And these are the people that call if you gamble too much.
Oh boy.
You know what? We actually had some really nice compliments this week. I had like 2 or 3 people actually say, "Hey, like took your advice this week. Really appreciate it. Helped me out big time." And I don't know if you guys remember, but Heather Nielsen, shout out to you, Heather. Thanks for your message here. She said, "Hey Hacks, just wanted to extend my appreciation to you all. I've been undefeated for the last 12 weeks, and I'm heading to the finals for my league. Thanks for all the great insight and tips." That's really cool to hear. Good luck in the final. If I recall correctly, I think it's actually her first year playing fantasy hockey.
I was
John's
going to say,
jealous.
holy, I think I need to hit her up for some fantasy advice here because my team sucked.
Yeah, get her on the show.
Got to get her on the show. There you go. Bruce,
I'm guessing she read the show notes. You didn't.
This is what happens.
I'm with Tyler. My rating's not so good. If it's any good, I'll make a movie out of it.
oh, there you go. Well, just so you boys know for next time. Those
Next year.
notes are typically done by Saturday night or Sunday afternoon. So,
Oh, so they're not done 5 minutes before the show when I look at them?
no, not generally. I try to make sure they're done before then.
You're way ahead of me. I look at them as we're talking about them. So
Right?
yeah,
It makes it more exciting this way.
At least you're honest, and yeah, you're representing that Hacks name real well.
So you see them working on their rosters while we're talking
Yeah,
on the
that's
podcast.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
okay.
have to anymore, so
They need the extra time, Bruce. That's okay.
I should probably get them tattooed on my neck or something.
Just
Hockey
yeah, maybe.
hack. Fancy hockey hack.
Yeah. So I mean, that's all I'm really gonna say about Buffalo. I did have one note here. Over their last 10 games played, the Sabres are actually first on the power play at 38.5%, and 14th in goals for per game at 3.40. I don't know if that
Nice.
was maintained today. I know Olefson did score at least 1 power play goal, so I mean, chances are, yeah, their power play is still clicking around that 38%.
These are good teams to pick. Like, it's garbage time, and if their matchups are good too, load up on those guys.
Like,
'Cause-
the only thing with Buffalo for this week is they don't play till Thursday, I believe. So if you're going to grab one of those guys, like, get your spot starts or whatever, make some moves Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then, grab an Olefson or a Skinner or a Thompson or something like that. But
Buffalo was 2 for 2 on the power play.
there you go. There you go. Okay, well, let's move on to the part of the show that I think most people tune in for probably, and that's our waiver wire targets. So waiver wire targets are focused on players with ownership of approximately 50% or less. Obviously, sometimes we venture beyond that, but we try to stick as close to 50% or less as we can. All of the strength of schedule numbers are in here, so easier the schedule, the lower or negative numbers, and higher number is a harder schedule, just for everyone's reference. Starting it off with the guy we mentioned earlier, Bruce, I think that was you, mentioned Ryan Johansen, 43% rostered, playing with Forsberg and Tomasino on the top line and on power play 1. He's having a really good season offensively. I think his best offensive season we've seen from him since 2014-2015.
$8 million a year.
So he's finally,
Sub 70 points.
it
Why
makes-
you gotta throw
Sorry,
down our
sorry.
waiver wire targets? Like
Sorry about that. I'm just.
Oh, what?
no,
What?
no. I mean, that's warranted.
I really don't like him, but
Couldn't tell.
He's on Tyler's list.
he is on my list.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
his
he's
ish
on-
is high. He's got a high ish.
He's got a high-ish, 21.3%. I mean, he's a guy you're going to grab and just stream for as long as he's productive, right? But 8 points, 6 goals in his last 8 games. He's on pace for just 67 points, Tyler. So, yeah, he makes Draisaitl's contract look real good.
Oh my gosh, can we go an episode without talking about that guy?
No.
Nope. No, we will never. We will never go an episode without talking about Draisaitl.
Lazy Leon can kick
go-
rocks.
You
Go
mean
for an
Neon
episode
Leon?
without
Whatever.
talking about John. How will we do that?
Talk about me all I want. I don't care.
Oh, man.
Nothing but beauty comments.
Let's move on. I think, yeah, so Johansen, 3 games. I'm not even sure where to go from there.
Are you lost?
No good segue. There's no good segue from what we just discussed there, but I'm just going to, I guess the one thing I'll mention about Johansen and the Preds, they have a tough schedule. They got Calgary, Tampa, and Minnesota for next week, so plus 22 strength of schedule. Not good, but he's been producing. If you need some help, take a look. Next up here, Igor Sharangovich. 10%
Russian?
rostered. Yeah,
Not
I'm
bad,
Russian,
not
yeah.
bad.
Double agent, buddy. Double agent.
We don't like you right now.
Games played, 4 games on the schedule for next week. Vegas, Buffalo, Carolina, Detroit, -6 strength of schedule, and he's actually tri-eligible, center, left wing, and right wing, playing with Hischier and Zetterlund, and on power play 2. He's actually been averaging over 20 minutes a game recently here. He's got career highs in goals and points this year, and he's playing at a 52-point pace. Give him a look. He's got 15 points, 9 goals in his last 20 contests. Some good things there. Nico Hischier, 34% rostered. So his line mate there is also a guy you want to look at. He's got a career high 57 points and 20 goals on the season. Anything bad to say there, John?
No, he's played really well. Yeah, just seeing in there like 20 points in his last 14 games. He's I'm happy. I'm happy with that.
Well, it's unfortunate losing Hughes, but I think this had a big impact on Nico Hischier and his production.
Oh yeah, for sure has.
This one, we were big on Connor Garland back in the summer. We we have to go back and listen, Bruce. I don't know what our projections were for Connor Garland, but we had high hopes for that guy.
We sure did.
And didn't go so well his first year in Vancouver, but since March 20th, 11 points, 2 goals in 12 games played. Pretty good production. He's on a roll right now. Vancouver's rolling. He's only 30% rostered, 4 games on the schedule, +5 strength of schedule, but he's been playing with Horvat and Pettersson. Obviously, Horvat's going to be done here now, but he's still playing with Pettersson and, oh God, I can't remember the other guy's name, but he's getting some nice deployment anyway for Vancouver. He's got some room for positive regression. He's shooting 8.7% this year, which his 3-year average is 10.5%. He's on pace for 50 points. So some good things there from Garland, I guess. I mean, at this time of year, it's the volume, right? If you can find guys who are going to play 4 games.
Yep.
And I guess speaking of Vancouver, this is one I never thought I'd suggest. Alex Chason.
No, you did not say
no
that.
kidding, eh?
I
He's
did. I'm
actually-
sorry. I did.
I don't care what you say. Him and Mike Smith can go whatever. Jason is trash, and you know it.
He actually
what I'll tell you.
looks looks faster this year, which is something. Because he looked like he had cement in his skates.
He did have
Playing for
cement
him.
in his skates.
He might still, but the cement is lighter.
Well, he was playing net front on the power play, so he wanted to be heavier,
That's because he's lazy.
right? That
That's
was
where
the
the
that
concrete
was the thing.
comes in.
Yeah, you get it?
Gotcha.
Concrete boots. Yeah.
Gotcha.
You're such an idiot.
Okay, no, but for real though, here's what I'll
boy.
tell you. Was it 9 points in his last 5 games, Bruce? For Garland, I think.
Just looking here, so last 6 games, 5 goals, 4 assists.
There you go. So the production's been there. I honestly, he's not a guy I'm going to carry. Like if he goes 1 or 2 games without a point, yeah, like I'm going to drop him like a rock. But if you're in a deep league and you need some help, that's a guy you could look at who's producing right now. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay. Let's
My
move on
face says it all.
let's move on to one you might like, John. That's Tim Stutzle.
Oh,
Do you like Tim Stutzle?
Yeah, I do when he's not flailing all over the place.
I hear soccer's big in Germany.
Well, I got nothing. No, I'm just looking at that schedule he's got coming up and saying, wow, that looks nice.
Yeah, and that was a big part of it, right? So Seattle, Vancouver, Columbus, and Montreal. Minus 18 strength of schedule for next week.
It does not get any easier than that.
It does not. So center left wing eligible, 41% rostered. He's playing with Batherson and Formanton, and he's getting time on the power play. Top power play. And as I mentioned earlier, excuse me, 29 points, 12 goals in 28 games played since February 15th. He's been cruising. That actually ranks him 41st league-wide in terms of total point production during that span.
I'm sure that's a stat that everyone was like, wonder where he is. Mm-hmm.
Yep, 41st. He's almost a top 40 player in the league in the last 2 months. There you go.
Better than bottom 40, I guess.
There you have it. Yeah,
Tyler, how is it down there?
He went down to the bar.
He's lost.
Yeah, no drink service again tonight, but he had to refill that beverage. Tyler's having fun. I want to drink what he's drinking.
Yeah, my coffee, like, it's gone.
Yeah,
we gotta get a beverage sponsor, Tyler. So if you want to like get in touch with whatever you're drinking, you let those people know we're looking for a beverage sponsor.
I'll work on it. Okay. Just for you guys.
That's on you.
Yeah.
I guess the other thing I'll mention too is in Bangers Leagues, Stutzle does offer some added value, 1.64 hits per game. Matt Boldy, next guy here, left wing, right wing eligible, 20% rostered, 4 games on the schedule. Not quite as easy as Stutzle, but he's playing Montreal, Vancouver, Seattle, and Nashville next week, so minus 19 strength of schedule. Playing with Goudreau and Fiala, and on power play 1. The deployment for Matt Boldy doesn't really get much better.
No, sure doesn't.
It's a really good rookie season too. I know it's been kind of split up with time off through injury, but 34 points in 40 games that's pretty good.
It's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, on a good team too.
Yeah. Well, he's on pace for 70, and he's not making $8 million a season. So
nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. He's on a 7-game point streak too right now. 9 points and 2 goals. So he's hot. Minnesota's been great, obviously, pretty much all year. Bruce would know.
Yep.
So yeah, I give him a look. He could be a big help this week. And then we had alluded to him earlier, and that's Victor Olefson. Excuse me. 20% rostered, left wing, right wing eligible. Just 2 games for Buffalo later in the week, so just keep that in mind. But he is playing with Skinner and Thompson, and on power play 2. 2 goals today, so we actually reached the 20-goal plateau for the second time in 3 seasons.
Very nice. Very nice.
I think if he played for a better team, he'd probably score 30, 35.
Yep. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well, look at Sam Reinhart, right? He leaves Buffalo, goes to Florida. Be a 30 goal.
He just scores goals. Goals. So
well, he's great on the power play, right? Like he's got a good shot. He's been very productive there the last couple seasons. And they've got a nice schedule too, playing against Jersey and the Islanders later in the week. So something to consider there. This week we got 2 defensemen. Unless you guys, if you let me know if you have another defenseman in mind. But Noah Hannafin and Mark Giordano are the 2 I've got earmarked here for this week. Hannafin is 50% rostered. He has 4 games on the upcoming week here. Minus 11 strength of schedule. He's playing on the top pairing with Anderson. He's a top pairing defenseman playing for the Calgary Flames. They're 7th in goals for per game at 4.25 during the month of April. And over his last 12 games, he's got 14 points, 2 goals, and 31 shots on goal. He's averaging over 22 minutes of ice time, 205 on the power play. He's got volume this week. To me, he's pretty much a must-add, given his current production. Tyler,
I like it.
You didn't like it when I said it, Tyler, but I feel like you're coming around.
I just hate Calgary, man. I just hate them. but he's getting those shifts. It's very important.
Hey, good on you. You got it in there.
And the volume's there too, so whatever.
And even John's on board. Even John's on board with Hannafin.
That's my expert opinion. Well,
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm on board with Hannafin. Just don't ask me about the next one.
So, John, you want to talk to us about Mark Giordano?
Yeah, he sucks.
Dude's trash.
He is absolute trash. Whatever Devin says, don't listen.
Yeah, don't listen to me. I'm just a dude.
I'm just covering our bases, so when he has a crap week, we're not blamed for it. And if he does good, well, I guess we called it. But
yeah, like I was kind of on the fence about this one, but for like defenseman for the waiver wire this week was a bit. It was slim pickings, honestly.
Couldn't tell.
Yeah, but he's been good lately. What has he got here? He's on pace for 37 points, which is the lowest we've seen from him since 2012, 2013. But he's got 9 points and 2 goals in his last 10 games, including a 3-point game on Saturday and the OT winner against Ottawa. He's seeing, but Anton Forsberg, who we talked about last week, I think, he's been one of the best goaltenders the past month or two, at least in terms of save percentage. So, Giordano, secondary power play time, 31.7% power play share. Good possession metrics as well for the Leafs. And 4 games, right? I guess the issue there is they play Philly, Tampa, Florida, and Washington, so it's not a great schedule, but he will get some easier matchups playing on the third pairing. So, something to keep in mind anyway. Any other defensemen you guys want to rattle off? Bruce, you got something for us? Gavrikov, maybe?
No, it's tough. Yeah, he'd be good for... He doesn't score a lot, but he hits the other categories.
Yep, good category coverage.
It was a good fill in our podcast league for his peripherals, and he doesn't score a whole lot. But
yeah, I know John and Tyler are laughing, but seriously, he does cover categories quite nicely, other than points, right? So
yeah. Well, and if Werenski is out for any type of length of term, that would be a good fill in because he does seem to do well when Werenski.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense, Bruce. I forgot Werenski went out tonight with injury, so
yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's an unofficial ad for defenseman. We'll go with is it Vladislav Gavrikov? I guess give him a look.
Damon Severson's probably another one too.
Yep.
Quietly,
he's been really good all season.
10+ goals per defenseman. So, and he gets those shifts, averaging 23 minutes. So,
got to get those shifts.
Got to get them, and he's getting them.
All right, let's move on to goaltenders. Antti Raanta, I had mentioned him earlier, 22% rostered. 4 games on the schedule, so they have Arizona tomorrow, or I guess today if you're listening on Monday, Winnipeg, New Jersey, and the Islanders. So they've got a minus 15th strength of schedule. With Anderson going down with injury, like the reports today were that Anderson was going in for an MRI. We don't know exactly how long he's going to be out. And given that they've already locked up a playoff spot, and I think, are they still fighting for home ice advantage? Is that the only thing to be determined for them?
I'm not even sure.
But, I mean, regardless, I really just get the sense that they're going to rest him for a couple games at minimum. And that gives Raanta some nice matchups against Arizona, Winnipeg, and maybe the Devils. I think there's one back-to-back for Carolina this week. So, I mean, best case he gets all 4 games. Worst case he plays 2 or 3 on one of the best teams in the league. He's got a 12-5-4 record this year, 2 shutouts, 2.44 goals against average, and a .913 save percentage. I picked him up in 2 leagues this week. I'm rolling the dice a little bit, Bruce, like you said. He has a tendency to sort of let you down sometimes, but on paper he shouldn't, right?
No, exactly. On paper it looks good. And he's going to get starts.
Yeah, the goalie equivalent to shifts.
Yep.
Scott Wedgwood is the next guy here. Since coming over from the Arizona Coyotes, Wedgwood has posted a 3-0-2 record with a 2.74 GAA, a .917 save percentage, and a .952 GSAA. Somewhat surprisingly, he's actually started 3 of the last 5 games for the Stars. And if Ottinger had a good outing yesterday, but had that gone poorly, could have seen a lot more starts for Wedgwood in the upcoming week. So I think he's still worth a look. He could get 2 starts potentially this week for the Dallas Stars. And if you're an Ottinger owner, it might be worth handcuffing. John, you don't agree? You don't agree?
No, I just hate handcuffing anybody.
I'm not sure where to go with that one.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
You walked right into that one, bud.
John's on the wrong podcast.
Yep.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, that's a good soundbite for later. Thanks, buddy.
Alrighty.
Doesn't your mom listen to this podcast?
Not anymore. She doesn't.
Sorry, Mom. Yep.
Okay. This is a
I think
fan
I-
show, boys.
I think I can see a pair of handcuffs behind him there, right between Kane and Nugent Hopkins and those pucks. Is that what that is?
What?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. The camera's a bit blurry. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's okay. Move on.
Move on. Yeah,
You guys are horrible.
that got weird real fast.
You don't say. Never commenting about handcuffs ever again.
Oh boy. Okay. Logan Thompson is the other guy we had here. 16% rostered. 3 games on the schedule. I think they're all on off nights or light days. I believe no back-to-backs. So if Leonard does remain out this week with some family issues, he could have 3 starts. Something to mention here, over his last 5 starts, he's got a 5-0-0 record with a 1.59 GAA, a 949 save percentage, and a 5.88 goals saved above average. I think he's worth a look. John, what's your thoughts on Thompson?
I'm not saying anything anymore.
I was giving you an opportunity to get back on the horse, man.
Oh shoot. Yeah, no, he'll get some starts here, I think, and he's played really well. So, yeah, no, I'm happy with Logan Thompson, absolutely, especially with that game coming up against the Devils and the Sharks there. Yeah,
A desperate Vegas team against two non-playoff teams.
yeah, that's just it.
Okay. Actually, so two more goaltenders here. Casey DeSmith.
You did not.
Well, listen, Tristan Jarry is week to week. Tristan Jarry is week to week.
I'm not talking about that. I just scrolled down to the bottom. No, I'm happy with Casey DeSmith.
Okay.
That I'm happy with that. Yeah.
The last pick, John, was mostly fact based, but it was also just
Shut up.
an added bonus to piss you off.
Yeah, it was. So let's talk about DeSmith, and then I can walk away and leave for the night.
And never talk about handcuffs again. So it was reported on Saturday morning that Tristan Jarry is out week to week, broken foot. Casey DeSmith is the de facto starter now. They got 5 games left on the season for the Penguins, and he's going to start probably all 5 of them. I didn't check to see if there's back-to-backs, but there's one. Okay,
There's one,
so
for sure.
let's say he starts 4 of those games. He did lose on Saturday, but he stopped 27 shots. He had a .931 save percentage. In his last 6 appearances, he's got a 2-1-2 record with a 2.64 goals against average, a .917 save percentage, and a .685 GSAA. I like DeSmith moving forward. This week, he's got 3 games, 1 against Boston, but then a road game against Detroit and a road game against Philly. Some good matchups there. Give him a look. I would agree, John, we've spent too much time talking about this guy, but Mike Smith, the Edmonton Oilers, 50% rostered. 3 games coming up here. Look, in the month of April, Mike Smith has started 6 of 8 games for the Oilers. He's posted a 6-0-0 record with a 1.49 GAA, 955 save percentage, an 8.89 GSAA, and 2 shutouts. He made 69 saves in his last 2 games. posting back-to-back shutouts. That's all I really need to say. The Oilers have been incredible, Tyler, the last 10 games or so.
Yeah, I mean, we should just have a Mike Smith podcast, and John can just
not be on
disappear.
it.
Him and his handcuffs can screw off and go to the other podcast network. We can just talk about Mike Smith. But if you actually look at his numbers, start of the season was absolutely awful. Injury, comes back, awful. If you take the injury aside and you take his last, 5 starts and last season, he's been great. Like, he's been really good. And this is the time of year where you have those kind of numbers going into the playoffs. Your team can be mediocre, and if you have a goalie at a .930 plus save percentage, you can win a round. You could even win a second round just doing that.
Yep.
He hasn't looked great doing
sure.
it. I think Edmonton's played, like, as a team, has played really well in front of him.
Yeah.
Which is a huge part of it. Probably better than they played, as far as an eye test goes, probably better than they played previously with him in net. But you can win rounds doing that. So,
Look at Hellebuck last year.
yeah.
Like, the Oilers got goalied in the first round.
Yeah. It was more than that, but the entire team plus Hellebuck. Yeah.
Agreed. But
Yeah. But I mean, you've seen this in the past, like Rolison. Look at that. Like, the team wasn't good. I mean, they had Chris Pronger, sure. And they had Mike Pekka. You could barely score 5-on-5 with Mike Pekka on the ice, but they had Rolison. So as soon as they didn't have him and they had Ty Conklin and UC Markkinen, it was a totally different series.
it got ugly.
Real quick.
Quick.
Lots of teams are going to be like that. So, Mike Smith is, just by the numbers, if you're not a fan and you don't watch all of the games, just by the numbers, and if he's available, he's definitely worth a look.
Yeah, 50% roster, definitely, like, that's odd. I'm surprised, 50%.
Right, John?
But it's probably 50% of fans who are like John and just hate the guy. So
It's because he sucks. I don't care what you say.
50% of people are not like John.
okay. Well, John's special. John is special.
Hey,
In a good way. Hey, we love you.
Easy.
We love you. We love you.
easy now.
We're just giving you a hard time. We bug you because we like you.
Do we?
Right?
Promise you do.
I'm not promising nothing.
Okay. Like I had mentioned last week, I did include some additional names in here for waiver wire pickups, just kind of random guys that may have some fantasy appeal for next season. So if you want to check them out, fantasyhockeyhacks.com, scroll down to the bottom of the article for NHL Week 27 waiver wire picks and preview. It'll be there. That's all we got. That does it for this week. Any other thoughts or ideas, guys, before we head out?
John?
What? Thoughts or ideas? Yeah, okay. Bye, Felicia.
All right. So with that, I guess we'll sign off here. But if you want more information, more fantasy content, be sure to check us out on Twitter at FHHacks, on Instagram at Fantasy Hockey Hacks. Send us your questions for our Ask the Hacks segment. You can send us an email, fantasyhockeyhacks@gmail.com. Like I just mentioned, the website, fantasyhockeyhacks.com, has all of our blog posts, all the waiver pickups, all the schedule notes there. And with that, we will get out of here so we can all lick our wounds. It's been fun. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Good night.
Take care.
I already said it.
Goodbye.